Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because today's story involves numbers so massive they honestly took me a second to process when I first read them. We're talking about millions upon millions of votes, a fandom moving as one coordinated force, and a tradition that has basically become its own annual holiday at this point. I'm talking about Jimin, the voting platform Faking, and the phenomenon fans affectionately call Jimtober. Let's get into it. So let's start with the raw numbers, because honestly, they speak for themselves before we even get into the context. Faking, a global fandom voting platform, ran a birthday voting event for idols celebrating their birthdays in early October, with voting taking place over a set window leading up to those birthdays. And when the dust settled, Jimin came out on top with a staggering total of over 20 million votes, more than 20 million individual votes cast in his favor, outpacing every other idol competing in that same voting period. Let that number sink in for a second. 20 million votes is not a small campaign. That's not a handful of dedicated fans refreshing a page a few extra times. That's the kind of number that requires massive, sustained, coordinated effort from a fanbase spread across dozens of countries, different time zones, different languages, all working toward the exact same goal during the exact same window of time. Numbers like that don't happen by accident, they happen because a fandom organizes itself with the kind of precision and dedication that honestly puts a lot of professional marketing campaigns to shame. Now, let's talk about the timing of all this, because it's not random. This voting period ran in the lead up to Jimin's birthday, which falls on October 13th. And this timing is exactly why fans have coined this entire yearly stretch with a very specific nickname, Jimtober, a combination of Jimin's name and the month of October. It's become this recurring, almost ritualistic celebration that repeats every single year, and every year it seems to grow bigger, louder, and more coordinated than the year before. If you're not familiar with how these birthday voting campaigns work within K-pop fandom culture, let me give you a quick rundown, because it's honestly a fascinating little corner of fan culture that a lot of casual observers might not fully understand. Multiple platforms host these birthday polls throughout the year, allowing fans to vote for idols celebrating birthdays during a specific window. These aren't official label-run promotions in most cases, they're built and maintained by fan communities and third-party platforms that have become a recognized part of the broader K-pop ecosystem. Winning one of these polls typically comes with some kind of reward for the idol, things like digital billboard placements in major city centers, dedicated promotional campaigns, or in this specific case with Faking, a birthday cafe event. For anyone unfamiliar with the concept, a birthday cafe is basically a themed pop-up event, a real physical space, often a coffee shop or dedicated venue, decorated entirely around the celebrating idol, complete with custom merchandise, artwork, and photo opportunities, all funded and put together thanks to the platform and the fan community rallying around that win. It's a tangible, real-world celebration that grows directly out of an online voting campaign, which is honestly a pretty unique blend of digital fan activity translating into a physical, shared experience. And that's exactly what Jimin secured with this win, a birthday cafe event set to take place on October 13th itself, timed perfectly with his actual birthday. So this isn't just about winning a number on a leaderboard, it's about earning something real, something fans in the area can actually attend and experience together, adding another layer to an already massive celebration. Now here's where things get even more interesting, because this Jimtober phenomenon extends far beyond just this one voting platform. According to reports tracking this trend, fans from different countries have developed a consistent pattern of organizing all kinds of projects and celebrations specifically tied to this Jimtober period every single year. We're talking about everything from community fan gatherings to charitable donation drives, artistic tribute projects, coordinated social media campaigns, and public displays of support that stretch across the globe, all timed around the same October window. That's honestly one of the more beautiful aspects of this whole story, the way a single fandom can use a celebratory moment like a birthday as a springboard for building genuine cross-cultural connection. Fans in completely different countries, who might never interact under normal circumstances, come together around this shared purpose, coordinating projects, sharing resources, translating materials into different languages so everyone can participate no matter where they're located. It becomes this incredible display of what organized, passionate community can accomplish when everyone is working toward the same goal. There's actually a really interesting parallel here to broader conversations happening in the world about global cooperation and partnership. Some commentary around this phenomenon has even drawn a connection to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, specifically the goal focused on partnerships to achieve shared objectives. And when you think about it, that comparison isn't as much of a stretch as it might initially sound. What you're witnessing with Jimtober is essentially a real-world case study in decentralized, voluntary, cross-border collaboration, different communities, different cultures, different languages, all voluntarily choosing to work together toward a shared, positive goal, without any centralized authority forcing that cooperation to happen. Now, I know some people watching this might be thinking, okay, but at the end of the day, this is still just a birthday voting campaign for a celebrity. Why does the scale of it matter so much? And that's honestly a fair question, but I think the answer lies in what this phenomenon actually represents beyond the surface-level activity. It's a demonstration of just how powerful organized fan communities have become in the modern entertainment landscape. These aren't passive audiences simply consuming content anymore, they're active participants capable of mobilizing on a scale that rivals professional marketing operations, entirely through voluntary, unpaid effort driven purely by genuine enthusiasm and dedication. Let's put these numbers into a bit more context too, because 20 million votes on one single platform is genuinely remarkable, but this stacking win doesn't exist in isolation. Reports covering these birthday voting seasons in previous years have shown a consistent pattern of Jimin performing at the very top across multiple different voting platforms simultaneously, not just one. We're talking about wins across a wide range of different fan voting services, each with their own voting mechanics, their own audience overlap, and their own reward structures. Consistently placing first across that many different platforms during the same general window isn't a fluke, it's evidence of an extraordinarily well-organized, extraordinarily dedicated fanbase operating at a scale that few other fandoms in the world can match. And I think that consistency is really the heart of why this story deserves attention beyond just being a fun, feel-good fandom moment. Winning one poll could arguably be attributed to a lucky surge of activity or a particularly motivated subset of fans in one specific region. But winning across platform after platform, year after year, requires sustained infrastructure. It requires experienced fan organizers who know how to coordinate these efforts effectively. It requires ongoing communication across international fan communities. It requires a level of long-term commitment that goes far beyond casual fandom participation. Let's also take a moment to appreciate just how much genuine joy and warmth exists behind these numbers, because it's easy to get lost in the sheer scale of the statistics and forget that behind every single one of those 20 million votes is an individual person choosing to spend a few seconds of their day showing support for someone whose work has genuinely meant something to them. Multiply that individual gesture by 20 million, and you get this incredible collective outpouring of appreciation, something that, frankly, is pretty rare to witness at this scale in any fandom, for any public figure, anywhere in the world. It's also worth pointing out how these voting wins tend to translate into broader public visibility beyond just the fandom itself. Rewards like digital billboard placements in major transit hubs or busy city centers mean that even people who have absolutely no connection to K-pop or to BTS end up seeing these celebratory displays simply by going about their everyday lives, commuting through a train station or walking through a shopping district. In a strange way, these voting campaigns end up functioning almost like a form of grassroots public celebration, one that spills out beyond the boundaries of the fandom itself and becomes a small part of the broader cultural landscape of the cities where these campaigns take hold. Now let's talk a little bit about why Jimin specifically continues to perform at this level year after year, because I think it's worth acknowledging the genuine foundation behind all of this enthusiasm. At the core of any successful, sustained fan mobilization like this, there has to be real substance behind the admiration driving it. Fans don't organize at this scale, year after year, purely out of habit or obligation. This level of continued, consistent effort tends to reflect a genuine, deeply rooted appreciation, built up over years of watching someone's artistry, work ethic, and personal character develop and consistently deliver. Whether it's his vocal performances, his dance ability, his solo artistic projects, or simply the way he's carried himself publicly throughout his career, there's clearly a deep well of goodwill and admiration that fans draw from every single time one of these voting campaigns rolls around. That kind of loyalty isn't manufactured, it's earned incrementally, year after year, through consistent effort and genuine connection with the people supporting him. Let's also reflect for a second on what this phenomenon says about the broader evolution of fan culture in general over the past decade or so. 10 or 15 years ago, the idea of a fan base mobilizing this kind of coordinated, international, multi-platform effort simply wasn't technologically or organizationally feasible in the same way. The rise of social media, translation tools, and dedicated fan-run organizational infrastructure has completely transformed what fan communities are capable of achieving. Jimtober, in a lot of ways, represents kind of a peak example of just how far that evolution has come, a fully organized, internationally coordinated, annually recurring celebration built entirely from the ground up by passionate fans with no corporate backing required to make it happen. And honestly, I think that's part of why stories like this continue to resonate so strongly, even outside the immediate fandom. There's something genuinely inspiring about witnessing what a community can accomplish when they're united by shared passion and shared purpose. It's a reminder that collective action, even in something as seemingly lighthearted as a birthday voting campaign, can produce genuinely impressive, tangible results when enough people care enough to show up and participate. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever participated in one of these fan voting campaigns yourself, for Jimin or for any other artist? And what do you think it says about modern fandom that communities can organize at this scale, completely voluntarily, year after year? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one, and I always love hearing different perspectives on just how far dedicated fan communities can go when they come together around something they genuinely care about. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update, because with October right around the corner, you can bet Jimtober season is going to bring even more incredible numbers to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, take care of yourselves. Bye!